when we think of stress, we always think of I'm under stress, right? Like I have all these responsibilities that's causing me stress. We don't often realize that we can put ourselves into stress ourselves when we're by ourselves with no external things causing us stress, but just by the way we speak to ourselves. And then what happens is that your body ends up holding on. It holds on. It affects your hormone balance, and your body thinks that it's hungry when it's not hungry. Your body can't really understand when it's full or not, because you're not connected to satiety. Really, you're not connected to your physical satiety, because ultimately you're trying to be satiated emotionally, right? So you end up not really being connected to yourself physically, physiologically. And hormonally, stress hormones like cortisol, your brain, and I don't know if you ever felt this, but have you ever felt like when you're hyper vigilant, or when you're over analyzing, or when you're trying to like figure out what's going to happen in the future, you just get super tired and you feel kind of like thirsty. You feel like there's like you just don't feel great. You feel tired. Um, you might even feel inflamed, right? You might feel bloated. And for some people, stress, you might be listening to this and you might be saying, oh, when I actually am under stress and I feel stressed, I actually like lose weight. I feel less bloated. Okay, that can be true for some people too, but then you end up feeling bloated, because like your hormones get imbalanced and your cortisol spike, you get inflamed, and your body holds on. Your body holds on to weight. It thinks it's in some sort of danger. So it sort of even makes you want to eat more, which is why sometimes people feel confused about their hunger and fullness cues. And then the weight becomes like a shield. It becomes a layer of protection between you and the world that you've created almost to protect your own self from your negative self. Okay, so what's happening is that your body is actually protecting you from your own negative self-talk with this shield, but it ends up disconnecting you from yourself and from what you really want, which might be connection, which might be weight loss, because of the way that you are going about getting to your goal, the way that you're speaking to yourself. And so, what I really want to impart is that negative self talk, even just pushing yourself hard, it's not a motivator, it's a trap. And what happens is that it actually becomes a trigger for being stuck in a shame cycle, and also for eventual self-sabotage, right? Because if we strong arm ourselves, or negative ourselves into some sort of behavior, again, like I said, our brain is really smart. Our brain is going to make us do that, but then it's going to be like, I hate this, so I'm going to rebel against this and I'm going to sabotage. So kindness is always the answer here, right? So what can we do? Right? What can we do? So you want to be kind to yourself. You want to practice kindness to yourself first. And oftentimes this could be the hardest thing to do because no one sees it. It's like if a tree falls in the forest, if a tree falls in the forest, I think this is the line. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody heard it, did it fall? It did fall, right? So if you are kind to yourself and nobody hears it, does it matter? Yes, it matters. Yes, it matters. And so this goes back also to, prioritizing yourself and making yourself important. Self-care, speaking to yourself in a positive, kind way. So I like the word kind rather than positive because I don't think we always have to be positive, but we should always be kind. So speaking to yourself in a kind, compassionate, empathetic, patient way is one of the most important self-care rituals you could do, more important than a massage. Right? It's like, "Oh, I'm so stressed." How many people go to massages to de-stress, but the entire time are thinking negative, are speaking negatively to themselves the whole time, either about what they haven't done, what they need to do, how lazy they are. Oh my God. Right. So imagine you're sitting there getting a massage, but your nervous system is still on high alert. So ultimately, the hormone imbalance is still going to happen. None of the real core, authentic, root self-care balance is going to happen, which is why the way you treat yourself and the rituals and the the patterns and the ways that you prioritize how you are with yourself when you're alone with yourself is so important.